I literally just did some jumping jacks. I'm just like, I need to just move this energy. Didn't work.
Oh no. Shame.
It's fine. How are you this morning?
I am tired, actually. I don't know why either. Like, yesterday was such a relaxing day. I decided the flat needed a clean, and I was just like, listen, I'm just going to take the day and just do what needs to be done. It took me an hour to clean the kitchen. Because everything came off those shelves. Everything was like wiped down. Don't come in here. Yeah. Everything was getting done and the floor was washed. When I tipped out that water after washing the floor, I was like, shame on you for living in this pigsty, because that water was browner than me. So I was not having any of it. But yeah, it was a good day. Although my fridge has broken. So I am, so straight after this, I'm going out shopping for a fridge because it's out of warranty. So.
Oh, God. And it has to be
it's a good job it's cold at the moment because everything's like hanging out the window.
Yeah, no, that's so true. But that's why you're tired though. Like cleaning it is relaxing, but it's a full body workout.
That's tired. I was just like, this is my gym today. It was a full-on motion. I was on those floors like Cinderella, like, come on, let's go.
Oh, so you like proper scrub floors?
Oh, yeah, no, honestly, this time round, not every time round, because let's be realistic. Usually it's just a whoop, 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 let's go.
Off situation.
Yeah. But yeah, it got done.
It was bad. I don't think I've ever done like a on the ground scrubbing of the floors, ever.
Well, if it doesn't need it, don't worry about it. I've got a dog.
Yeah.
Not that he's messy, but especially around where his bowl is, that I have got to, and also where the bin is, and a bit round by the hob, because you never know what's dripping on the floor. Absolutely. And even if you get it up and and the dog licks the floor sometimes. So I'm like, I know something's there that I can't see. So,
and also Santino can't take his shoes off. So like, I get it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I know. Despite the many times I've told him to wipe his paws before he comes in, just doesn't listen. They say you can't teach old dogs new tricks. They're right. Start that early.
Oh my God, that's funny. Okay. You should just like get straight into it,
Oh yeah? Okay. Do it whilst you've got the energy. Go for it.
You know how this depletes very quickly. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, folks. Welcome back to another episode of It's All Frolics. Still no practice intro, but it's fine.
I mean, that is the intro. Welcoming people in.
I guess. Yes, it's me. Oh God.
School?
Sorry. No.
Oh.
Someone else.
Oh.
If you're not in the phone book, we don't answer. It's me, Monique B, once again, and my fabulous co-host, Amy G.
It's me, guys. Yeah. Well, yeah, you might as well, because I'm going to start bombarding them with my nonsense very soon.
Can't be helped. I like to enjoy. Right, so as we do all episodes, we're going to kick things off with a icebreaker. This is going to be interesting because I just put this together last night.
Just throw it together. Sometimes the best things are done like that.
Yeah, well, she said. So today you are going to play a game of Family Fortunes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's not the whole thing. It's just we're going to go to like what's the bit that they do at the end? Was it called like Big Money or something?
Okay, I'd never
I think
watched it, so obviously I
okay.
see clips on the internet, but that's like
But even from like
the
back in the day with like, oh, what was that guy's name?
don't
No.
know. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fine. No judgment. It's cool. But you got the premise though, right? You know the premise.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So with the big money section, basically they have to just get the top answers.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think I'm going to get just the top one, maybe like the top two. All right. So I'll give you
Generous. Thank you.
I'll give you the thing and I want the top two answers. And I think I would give you as many tries as there is options. So, for example, this first one has got 6
Potential answers.
Yeah.
Aha.
So you've got 6 tries to get the top 2. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just feeling the
right.
apprehension in my chest, as I always do.
It's always
I will
funny
never be on a game show. I will never be on a game show. So for anybody, if you get the opportunity and you can invite friends, don't invite me. Don't. I'm telling you now because you will lose with me on your team. Don't
You're
do
just
it.
there for the aesthetics.
I will be in the audience go, woo! Yes! You got the wrong answer. Oh.
Wow. Okay, yeah, leave her at home. All right then. So, first question. Name something people do to their armpits.
Shave. Wax.
Top answer.
Oh, right. Sorry. So am I just supposed to say one?
Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. Sure. Okay, no, say one and then I'll give you a ding or a
Okay. So that was the first one. How did I do?
So that answer there was the top answer. I gave you a
Yay! Well done. Come with sound effects. All right.
Okay, can you get the second answer? The second top. Second top? That's no such thing.
I said shave for the first one, wax I said for the second one.
That's the same. Shave and wax is the top answer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Man, what else do people do with their armpits?
Maybe think about some things that people don't do but should.
They don't shave?
No.
Deodorant.
There we go. Okay, next one. Name something that you might suspect. Sorry, name something that might make you suspect your new house is haunted. You've got 6 tries.
Ooh, things moving.
Second most popular answer. Can you get the top
one? Voices.
Very good. Awesome. Yes. Okay, next one.
Man, first off, really quickly.
Yeah.
Last night watched The Haunting of Venice. You know, the one you're never going to see because he's not the Poirot of Monique's taste.
Okay.
But I'm a wuss, okay? I don't really like scary things. And I had to hold my own because I do not want to give up how terrified I was at some of the jumpy bits. It wasn't all the way through and it wasn't much, but there was a couple of, you know, those ones where you're like looking in a mirror and you're looking down and you look up and there's someone behind you.
Yeah.
And you're not expecting that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was like...
Who are you trying to be brave for? Who are you trying to be brave for?
Because if I'm not brave, if I don't give off like just nothing's phasing me energy, I'm going to be prodded and poked for the rest of my days. So I'm not giving anything away. Otherwise, I'm going to be hearing voices coming from the kitchen and you know who's going to be making those voices. I'm like, stop that shit!
I refuse to watch scary movies. For me, I'm just like, life is scary enough. I don't need to put myself in a situation where, I'm going to be jumped. I just hate it. Like, it's always the music that gets you as well, that soundtrack.
Yeah.
And my imagination is already on 10. I don't need to add fuel to that fire.
Do you know, I've noticed that they now put scary music in places that nothing scary is going to happen, just to get you feeling that way. And then they're like, and now we're moving to a scene of a bush and nothing's coming out of it. And you're like, man. Anyway, okay, sorry to interrupt the game.
No,
as I do.
Fine.
Go for
it's
it.
Fine. We need a pit stop every now and then. Okay, name something that might be brewing. 6 attempts.
Tea.
It's not a top answer.
Oh.
It's there, but it's not a top answer.
Okay. Trouble.
It's there, but it's not a top answer.
What the fuck? That's brews. Coffee.
Top answer.
Okay.
Very good. One more.
Okay.
2 more tries.
I don't have anything else. What else brews?
The second most popular answer was beer.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Name something you see outside that would make you want to stay inside.
Rain.
We'll give you rain.
What was the answer?
Bad weather.
Oh.
Next one. Something you see outside that would make you want to stay inside.
And I don't know, my categories would all be under bad weather.
Should we just move on then?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you the list. So after bad weather, it was a bear or an animal. Zombies.
Man, I live in the UK. Why is that going to be on my list? Zombies don't exist. That's something. That's stupid. Stupid answers. Strike. They're stupid answers.
We had zombies, the apocalypse, fire or smoke. Bad celebrities? I don't know. This is why I said top 2, because that's the dregs of the answer. Anyway.
Well, that all was dregs for that answer. That was rubbish.
Give me another word people say for rear end.
Okay. This
6
could
tries.
be relating to a car or actual
As in
bottom.
Your bottom. So bottom is there, but not top 2.
Okay. Arse.
Our survey said...
Oh.
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button.
Oh. Wow.
Correct.
Playing with a girl's emotions, you know?
What an arse. Arse is there. It's not the top answer. It's the second most popular. So can you give me what you think is a top answer?
So bottom wasn't one, obviously. It was in there, but not the top.
Mm-hmm.
Arse is the second.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I need to really work on my vocab for some of these things. What's the top answer?
The top answer is butt or buttocks. Yeah.
Who's calling it buttocks? This is so American.
54% of the people that were asked call it buttocks.
But
Okay.
I'm so English. I just call it your ass.
Name something you did every day in reception/nursery that you wish you could still do every day now.
Play.
Top 2.
Ooh.
What's the number one thing?
Draw?
It's there, but not the top answer.
Ooh.
You got 2 more tries.
This is me trying to think back, and I'm having to think back hard and far.
Something you did every day in reception / nursery that you wish you could do every day now.
Nap. You don't have to think about that at all, do you?
At all. Still there. And I still draw in colour as well.
Every day?
Fair. Not every day. Okay. Next one. Name something you hate to see on the bottom of your shoe.
Dog poo, for sure. Or I've said ass shit.
That is correct.
Okay.
Top 2. What's the number one thing people hate to see on the bottom of their shoe?
Chewing gum.
Very good.
Hey. So sorry, chewing gum was the top?
Yeah.
Interesting that
Isn't
people are annoyed by chewing gum more than poo.
I don't know who these people are. I really don't.
So you haven't gone out and asked 100 people?
No, girl. I just haven't had time to do this. Name something people might only do once a week.
After some of the confessions,
I will say that none of these are naughty.
Are naughty?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know then. Well, it depends your definition of naughty, because I was going to say something like brush their teeth.
Once a week?
Listen.
Yeah.
We had the towel. So, putting it out there. Okay. Once a week. Oh, can it be something like we've been talking about? I don't know, sweeping the floors or something. Clean their house.
Oh no, shit. Wrong button again. Sorry.
You need colour codes or something.
You know what, girl? It is colour coded.
You did tell me. Not 100%. Okay, you're going to have to give me these answers. What is it?
Okay, cool. So number 1 is the laundry. That was the top answer. The second was grocery shopping. Yeah. We'll just do 2 more because I think I went a bit. Oh, shame. Hold on.
Is that it?
There's only 1 more left.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So give me a 3-letter word that starts with Z.
Zoo.
Or Z. Top answer.
Yeah, because that's all I've got.
One more try?
Nah.
That's fine. So the second was zip, zap, zen, and zit.
Zen. Zit.
Yeah. Although we don't really say zit over here, do we?
No.
Much more of a Americanism, if that's even a word.
I think that is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It is today.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for playing Family Fortunes.
We need the theme tune. Oh, I probably can't.
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Is that what it is?
No, it's not. Da-da-da. It's my version. I don't even know how that theme tune goes. I don't know that theme tune at all.
I certainly don't because I've never seen it, but
it is getting harder to come up with these games, girl. I'm up to recycle some of that. We might have to circle back.
Yeah.
To episode 1 and just change some answers around.
That's fine. That is fine. I mean, even we've played Who Said That? twice.
Oh, that's true.
Different versions.
That's so funny. I love he said that. All right. Well, let's move on over to the diving board. I love how you was shocked. The diving board?
Yeah.
Let's put our hands together. And on 3, we'll take a dip. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. We've only gotten it synchronized once.
Yeah, we say this every time that we should work on it, but I mean,
Every time. Yeah.
you know, stuff happens, life be lifing and all of that. It's tough to, and I mean, how many people really care? They're here for the deep dive, right?
True story. Right. This week's deep dive question is, where does your model of a normal home life come from? And I'm going to bat the ball over to you, lady.
Well done. Well done. Well played.
To kick us off.
I think that there's been lots of influences for me. Obviously, TV will come in because that's generally where you get a lot. Remember that show? Was it 2.4 Children? There was a show.
Yes.
2.4 Children. It was one of those sitcoms.
Yes. Yeah. I do remember.
English ones, but
yeah.
So that, and then I guess also in terms of books read, and family comes into it quite a lot as well. So for me, I guess my model of a normal family or home life is 2 parents and children. That's not my current home life and will not be my current home life, although I suppose Santino is my baby, so technically I have a child, and I do say to my nieces, this is your cousin, because it's the only cousin you're getting from me. Yeah, I think that's really much where it comes from. I mean, growing up, I had my mum and dad at home, and on my mum's side, my nan and granddad. And I think a lot of home life for me and what I mimic comes from my nan and granddad, trying to emulate that kind of safe space that I felt I had there, and just the kind of fun and the love and, you know, I don't know, they just, whether it was just them, because my memory is warped, obviously, like I've already explained. It's a long time ago when you were kids and you were experiencing those things. So going to theirs for like holidays and spending time, and they had this like big back garden that we would just roam in. You know, it was just a square, but you could spend hours just running around that square, like peg in the middle, string to your waist. You're just like, you know, and lucky enough to have siblings and cousins who'd be there at the same time. So we would just do the thing, you know, play hide and seek in the non-hide and seek spaces. And they had a swing, and, you know, we would go over to the little play area and stuff. So definitely having that space where we had freedom, and home cooked meals. And these were like, you know, fresh pies, homemade pastry kind of made pies. And even now, like some of my comfort foods are memories from those times, and that's kind of like the epitome for me. That's what I felt was home life, different from my mum and dad, because obviously they were both full-time working, so that kind of life was less having them around, having those adults around. And it's no disrespect, because I mean, bills have to be paid. Kids are not cheap. So as a kid, you don't know that. You just want your parents around and be doing the things, and weekends being full of fun and laughter, instead of being forced onto a church van and sent off on your way for hours whilst they have a break, So yeah, it was very different. And I think that whenever I have friends or family to come stay at mine, the feeling that I remember having at my nan and granddad's when we were visiting is what I try to replicate. That kind of like, this is somewhere where you can relax. You do not have to do anything you do not want to. But I still have things that I'd be like, yeah, let's go and do this if you're interested, or we can do this if you're interested, or we can just literally stay here and do nothing. That's kind of what I want to kind of replicate as part of that kind of normal home life. But then traditional bits and pieces come into play. I think we've talked about this in terms of the mental load and stuff. And so I can see I take on a very traditional role at home, doing all of the female-esque role, and getting highly frustrated about it, because there's so much more to me and what I would like to do. But it just seems, I think that's also something that I witnessed. So I automatically go into that role because that's what I have learned, you know? No discredit to the men that were in my life when I was young. I guess same for you. That's what you saw and that's what you replicated. It wasn't a normal thing for you to be, doing all of the cooking and the cleaning. So therefore it wasn't done by those people. They would be doing the more quote unquote manly things. Like my granddad would be outside. They used to have this like coal shed thing.
Oh, wow.
Sharpening the knives, cleaning, like polishing people's shoes. And this was like not with the little thing that we have now. Like this was in the tin, brush. Wow. And doing the gardening and stuff like that, whilst my nan would be doing baking and all of the cooking. And then we would all be doing the cleaning. Like I do remember Saturday mornings with my duster and the polish.
This is just Saturday clean.
It would be a whole thing. Before anything could happen, the place had to be cleaned. And if we were there staying, we would be part of that, part of that kind of process. So, yeah, I think it's really interesting now, the influences to my home life. But I think over time and how things change, our idea of what normal home life could or should be will evolve with that, because back in the day there was an expectation that you would get married and you would have kids young, and the mum would stay home and the dad would go out to work, and then it morphed into both parents are out of work, and if you were fortunate enough to make enough money, you would have someone looking after your children, or they'd be going to I don't know, I suppose special school events or activities when you're not available to be there, to now, which is my situation, choosing not to have children and to have just selfishly, I guess, live my life in that space.
Less of the selfish. It's just the choice that you've made. Simple. Not selfish at all. It's your life. Like, you get to do what you want with it.
I know, but sometimes I do hear stories and I'm like,
tee-hee-hee.
Yeah.
As you sip tea in your clean house with your nice things. With no crayon on it. Yeah.
No, or chewing gum under my table.
Oh! Listen. I don't know if I'm ever going to get over that. So for reference, listeners, last week I found out that my 11-year-old has been sticking chewing gum underneath our coffee table. And all till now, she can't tell me why. All till now, I don't understand why. So, yeah, you can't have nice things with children. You can't.
No. But I do, that makes me feel like sometimes I don't say certain things, or I mean, I do say all of the things, and I'm just like, they know. I'm not trying to, rub it in their faces.
Oh gosh, no. No, it's hilarious when it comes, because the thing is, like, you're right. Do you know what I mean? You're not being mean. It's just like, yeah, this is gross and ill.
Yeah. Oh, but I do try to put myself in that position. I'm just like, what on earth would I do? Because my reaction's coming from a place where I don't have to do that stuff every single day. So I feel like my patience is here.
Yeah.
And then you have to be like, okay.
Yeah. And honestly, that's one of the things that these kids have given me, like patience, because you can't blow up every single time. Like, your health will suffer.
Yeah. And you just be shouting all day.
Listen, I learned that lesson, when I started getting chest pains, it was like, okay, we need to find a different way to manage this, because I will legit not make it if I don't calm down.
Oh man. But I that's the thing. I think for me, I love the fact we're quite close. So there's no filter. Like, if you're feeling the pain, I hear the pain. It's not like, oh, these kids have been testing my patience today, but it's all good. It's just like,
these kids, God, today. Can I leave them somewhere? Yeah, honestly, it's a hard.
Are they too old to put in a bag and leave outside a police station? Good luck.
Oh God, yeah, it's a lot.
Oh my God. Do you know, I saw this thing, just on topic with that though, I saw this thing on, well, it must have been a video, and it was a report of this woman. She'd had her child for a year and she just decided she was done with it, and just left her child on like the doorstep of a fire station or something.
Oh,
and she didn't try to hide it, because they obviously caught up with them, were like, look, what's going on? You've left your child in. She was like, yeah, you said if I couldn't look after my child, if I didn't want my child, I could do this. This was a safe space. I don't want my child. So there you go. And they were like, but it's a year old. It's like, so?
I've served my time. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can understand it. Like, it's not easy, and it's not ever something. Okay, that's the wrong phrasing. It's never like how you thought it was going to be. Like, no one can sit down and tell you all the ways in which you're going to be tried and tested. Like, no one can tell you. So you always have people saying, oh, nobody told me that, and they didn't tell me that, They can't tell you. One, because they're tired. Two, because the list is very,
so
very long.
How did I know?
And everyone experiences things differently. Like, what I find really irritating, you might not. So
yeah,
it's just, it's a tough one. So it's sad, obviously, but I get it, I get it. And for some people, I feel like if they really can't manage, maybe it is best that they, give the child to somebody that can manage, because the damage that can be caused.
Yeah, I mean, it's damage either way, though, isn't there?
Because it is damage either way, but different degrees of damage.
Yeah, definitely. It just makes me think about, reflect on being a child, and how none of this is not something you think about. You're just like being you. Doing the thing, frolicking in the fields, like without care, and your parents are like, "Damn you! I wish I never." And you're just like, "What's for dinner, Mum?"
Like, and you know what? I feel like that's the sign of a good childhood. Do you know what I mean? You're not as a kid. You're not supposed to know how difficult. Could you imagine being like 5 and you're like your parent telling you telling you how awful you are to manage. You're just like, well, I'm just trying to eat my Cocoa Pops and so yeah,
As
kids are
it's dribbling down their face onto their clothes that they had put on freshly that morning. That is why I'm angry. Oh,
uh,
kids,
enter at your own peril. Enter is the wrong word. Parenthood
Well, like you said, enter parenthood.
at your own
Yeah, it's a
risk.
choice.
I feel like when we get to the deep dive, I always start with I was either triggered or this was very difficult to answer. But yeah, this was an interesting one. Where does your model of a normal home life come from? And I think, like you, our first kind of introduction to what a perceived normal home life is at school. The books that we read, the stories that we heard. Obviously, well, I was going to say obviously Disney, but Disney stories are quite tragic in terms of child and parent
Yeah, I think majority of
structures.
them, they're like single parents, aren't
Yeah,
they? Like one always dies.
always. Always. So yeah, I mean, I feel like you would only be I feel like you'd only kind of feel like those outward impressions of a normal home life would differ if yours was kind of chaotic, you know?
Mm,
I feel like it would come from a place of lack to look outward and think, oh, that's what I should be having. And I didn't have that at all. I mean, my mum and my dad separated before I was 2. So I don't remember them being together at all. So normal for me was being with mum and then, seeing my dad at the weekends, being with him over half term, stuff like that. That was normal for me. My mum remarried when I was about 6, 5 or 6. Um, so yeah, like I've always had 2 dads for as long as I can remember. Um, and that was normal. I never felt like I never felt without. I didn't ever feel sort of lacking. Um,
mm,
there's there I can only remember one incident where I felt like, ooh, that would be nice to have. And this was quite sort of later into my childhood, maybe like early teens. When do you remember that program, My Wife and Kids?
yeah.
Did you ever see that? Right. So that was like the only TV program with a family dynamic that I was just like, ooh, that looks really good. I would love that. And there was this episode where um they basically had like a family meeting, and basically the whole thing was that whatever the kids were basically able to say whatever they wanted in this meeting. There would be sort of like no repercussions, nobody would get in trouble. It was just like a free for all. Tell us how you're feeling. And I was just like, wow, like the kids can say whatever they want. It was just like, that was kind of mind blowing to me. And that was the only time that I felt like, okay, that I don't have at all. And that
Mm,
would be cool to have. Um, because I mean, I come from the generation of parents where they were definitely trying to do better than what was done with them, with their parents. But a lot of those old school traditional ways of doing things were still in place. So a lot of things happened around us as kids, but we weren't sort of privy to exactly what was going on. So
mm-hmm.
um, if there was like something happening in the family, we were never kind of brought into the fold, or not even like for your information type of way. It's just you would knew something was happening, but you just never knew
Yeah.
quite what. There'd be like hushed tones, or you'd be like sent to play outside, or just straight up told, this ain't your business, come out. You were never kind of involved with what was going on. And yeah, I always kind of felt a little bit of a way about. It's just sort of just never really knowing where you are with things and
Mhm.
kind of being afraid to like ask as well, because kids weren't really given the license to, you know, learn about grown people's business as it is called, you know? It's very much like your place as a child is over there and don't concern yourself with what's happening over here. Um, so yeah, I feel like seeing that kind of freedom that these kids had, and it wasn't like they were running wild or being like disrespectful, but they were very much involved with all that was happening. That was probably like the only thing that I felt like, a bit of that would be quite nice. Outside of
Yeah.
that, I kind of feel like I had a relatively good childhood. Like we traveled a lot. Um, and also I kind of had two lives as well, because, you know, I'd have like my everyday life with my stepdad and my sisters. And then I'd have almost like a second life when I'd go and hang out with my dad and see that side of the family. Um, yeah. So the whole thing about your model of a normal home life, I don't know. I don't feel like, as I said, I ever looked out and thought, "Ooh, I'm missing something."
Mm.
Um, I'm sort of living in like apart, I guess, as I said, as apart from the whole freedom of speech, that was quite limited.
Yeah.
Um, and I can see how that's like had an effect on me growing up, and how I've had to sort of like find that voice all over again. Um, but yeah, I don't know. This question, I didn't really have a long answer for it. It was just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like normal is whatever your home life is, as long as it's happy and you're safe. That's normal to me, you know. Single
Yeah.
parent, two parents, two mums, two dads, living with the aunt, living with the grandma. As long as you're like safe and cared for, that's your normal. And I don't
Yeah.
feel like you should be made to feel othered. And that's kind of why I do like that in schools now, a lot of the stories that are being told are reflective of all the different types of family structures, you know? Um, because as we said before, being at a school is kind of like the first sort of exposure that you have to the wider world,
Mhm.
you know, through the stories that
Yeah.
are told. And, you know, if little Timmy's sitting there hearing stories about mums and dads all the time when it's just him and his nan at home, then I guess he would feel sort of like, well, where do I fit? You know,
Yeah.
representation is key. All the different stories have to be told. Yeah, to reflect the real world that we're in. And that's all I got, babes. Yeah.
I guess, like you said, like normal is different for different people. It's your own experiences, but I think it's something that, I mean, definitely for myself and watching my nieces grow up and them having a different home life to I experienced, and even from my own, you know, influences, my mum's growing up, kind of her home life compared to my dad's growing up, his home life, drastically different. And then
Yeah.
seeing them come together to manage a home themselves and having these conflicting
Mm,
approaches influencing myself and my siblings, and then how we got then move on to interact and create our own home lives. You know, that's, I suppose that's the whole thing, is what is normal? A big question. We're not answering that right now for
yeah.
anything. Um, and what, how do we interpret that normalcy, and how do we move that forward and evolve that? I'm not going to get into that too much deep, because that is going to be a deep, deep, deep dive, and I don't have any of my snorkeling gear today. So we shall
Yeah,
keep it light. But
exactly.
those are the things to reflect on. And I think that's something that I really liked about this question, is digging in.
Yeah. I mean, this made
Okay.
me think of, I did. as you said, this question alone is quite surface. You could answer it in like two, 2 or 3 sentences, but where it took me was like very deep. Again, it was more. I think where it took me was how it has impacted me. Same thing that you said. You've got 2 different parents, or in my case, 3, that been taught have been raised differently, that had very, very different childhoods, and it's the merging of those worlds. And then also, the relationship that they have between them as well. So that has an impact too, and what you saw and what you didn't see. Like my parents, they weren't, I don't know, they, okay, do you know what? I'm going to have to edit that because I'm going to go somewhere that I actually don't want to.
Yeah,
So,
fair
yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, and I mean, I would love to go into more depth, and maybe somewhere down the line I will pluck up the strength to perhaps invite a family member onto the show for an episode to go in and get
That'd
a
be
different
really interesting.
perspective.
Yeah.
Because we're coming at it from one side. And like we said, we experience this as children, and then as adults, we start rationalizing these feelings to the point that you mentioned about, not getting involved with grown folks' business.
Yeah.
Well, as a kid, where you don't have any place to be part of that conversation because you're a child,
Yeah.
and yet we're still thinking and feeling and experiencing these things and not knowing anything. Even if we did know the details, would that even make any difference?
Yeah.
But we can only ask ourselves those questions now when we're older and wiser. Yeah, wiser.
Yeah. And that's the tricky thing, isn't it? Sort of like looking at yesterday with today's eyes, like it's going to be very, very different. But
Yeah.
what we, felt at the time and what we perceived at the time was very real. And it absolutely sort of shaped how we sort of looked at things and how we felt about things. What was I going to say? Oh, shit. Completely gone.
Drifted off.
So annoying. Literally, it just like disappeared. Yeah, the thing is, it's just that, more than likely, what was going on wasn't my business. But with kids, obviously, everything is about us. Like we are the center of the universe. So it's just like, if you're not allowed to be a part of something, the first thing is just like, well, what did I do? Am I in trouble? Like, is this gonna like crop back up a bit later? So I don't know. And not all kids are like that. I feel as I was saying in an episode before, I think actually I was like a very sensitive kid and everything was just like, eek, what have I done? So what may have been something that was very, very innocent and more than likely very innocent, I just felt it a different kind of way, so.
Yeah. And all of that is happening internally. So as a parent, unless your child comes out and says something to you, it's all guesswork. You're just trying to, you can know your child and still not know the inner workings of their mind and their heart. And,
Absolutely.
It's still a figuring out kind of thing. I feel, my parents might beg to differ. I think that I was quite a mature child. And so in terms of being part of those conversations, I was quite privy to a lot. And for good or bad, I don't actually know. And that could be a therapy session somewhere down the line. But I think that there are, and maybe it's the eldest, we can come back to that, just being so aware of what's going on and the temperament of the family life in order to protect those who have come after. And create that safe space. I think it's just I definitely felt as though growing up it was my job to look after my brother and sister.
Okay.
And to make sure, one, that they kept in line. In absence of my parents, I was the parent, So that, and they knew what they needed to do. They had what they needed, and if they needed someone to talk to, that I was that person to talk to in absence of my parents. And even when my parents were there, I was that like go between. You can tell me in your child language, and I can somehow try to morph this into adult language, even though I am a child.
Yeah.
And I don't feel as though that was ever something that my mum or dad told me I needed to do. It was something that I picked up. So in terms of like relating it back to the original question of this normal home life, I think we just make it what it needs to be based on our own experiences, and everyone's will be completely different. There will be some obviously overlapping themes that we're like, oh, that happened to you too? Yeah, that happened to me. But yeah, I think we just evolve in our own spaces. And it's good to see, at least, or hear that is starting to be reflected back in schools.
Yeah, I think so. It's necessary. You need to kind of see yourself. And only in the last couple of years has it really hit home how important it is. It seems like it's not a big deal, but it really is, to kind of be able to see yourself in the world. It opens your eyes up to what's possible. And just, yeah, it makes you feel like a part.
Yeah.
Just makes you feel a part. And that's wired into our DNA. Like, we're community-based beings. We need to feel a part, to feel safe.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we certainly went down the deep end of this pool today. Started shallow and then we're like...
I know. All right, man, look, let's get out of the pool. Let's dry up. And then let's head on over into the media circus. Now, what's that phrase? Slim pickings?
Yeah.
We don't have much this week by way of the media circus, guys. I've only got like 2 or 3 things that I wanted to mention, actually. And then I'll pass over to you if you had anything. Because this actually made me laugh, though, when I saw this. So I found this in the Metro. And so it basically says, couple shocked when garden ornament they'd had for years turned out to be a live bomb. So a couple say they were knocked for 6 when a garden ornament, which had lived in their garden for years, was actually a bomb. The Edwards thought that it was a dummy bomb with no charge, and the wife said she used to bang on it with her towel to remove earth after gardening. Jerry, who's the husband, lives on the same street since he was 3, and said he was sad to see the bomb go. He said, we didn't sleep a wink at all that night. It knocked us for 6. I told the bomb disposal unit, we're not leaving this house, we're staying here. If it goes up, we're going with it. It was an old friend, and I was sorry to see it go. Now, if you see a picture of this bomb, it looks like a vase. It doesn't actually look like a bomb. It's very inconspicuous. Where I was shocked was the whole thing about him saying, if the bomb goes up, we're going with it. Like, what? You're prepared to die in your home because you've loved this ornament for, let's just say, 20, 30 years. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's a bomb, my guy.
I know. I'd be out of there. I'd be like, take it. Take it. Bye.
The fact that she'd be
Don't care.
whacking it with a towel after gardening is crazy to me.
I mean, well, yeah. Thinking about it now when she knows it's a bomb, that must have been pretty scary. Like thinking how many times she was close to just blowing herself up without knowing it. But I mean, I need to see a picture of this now because I just want to see what's the whole thing about? Like, ornament for years. And why
I
would you want a fake looking bomb in your garden
This is it.
anyway?
I don't know. It's not giving like happy home to have a bomb in the garden. It's not giving
Welcome to
welcome.
my
Yeah.
home. Yeah. Come on in, where you take your life into your own hands.
I don't think I can love any object that much where I'm prepared to die in my home for it.
No, no. Unless it's a person, like you can
Yeah.
replace.
That's why I said objects. You take the thing, I don't care. That's crazy. Okay, so what else did I find? Okay. So I have to mention this.
Okay.
You're not going to care, but I'm saying anyway. Miss
Okay.
Beyonce Knowles. The movie came out 2 days ago. I'm not going to get to see it until this Saturday, so I'm going to be very late and kind of staying off social media so I don't get any spoilers.
Yeah, makes
Because
sense.
I want to, and I'm actually going to go and see it alone as well, just so I can fully take it in. But the records that have been broken are insane. So I'm just going to list some of these, right? So the Renaissance World Tour is the highest grossing tour by a female artist in history at 579 million in sales. I mean, how do you even mentally understand how much that is? Crazy. The Renaissance Tour also broke Billboard's record for biggest 1 month gross with 127.6 million in August. The movie grossed 11.5 million in its opening day and has broken the record for biggest post-Thanksgiving movie of all time. And on Rotten Tomatoes has scored a 100. Like, I'll say it. I've said it before. I will say it again. Like her or not, the skill, the talent, it's just undeniable. She's legit in a league of her own. No one has ever. I'm so glad to be able to sort of witness something like this in my lifetime. I feel like she's definitely our generation's Michael. In
Mm.
terms of like impact. I don't like to compare the two because, they're out in different times and sales and things are done differently nowadays. But in terms of global impact, one of one. She's not competing with anybody. She's just out here doing her own thing, and
I
it's
wonder
just
what
super
drives
incredible.
her to keep going, because like if she is the only one of her own, like she's in a league of her own, what is her driver? I'm intrigued to know, like
Mm.
just, kind of what, because this is just like, it must get boring and lonely.
I mean, I feel like she's in a new phase now where she's actually just doing what she wants to do. Whereas before, because, she was so heavily led and directed by her dad at the beginning and was giving a lot of consideration to what people thought.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the artistry was molded around that. Whereas now she's been out for like what 20 odd years. She's just like, okay, enough of what you guys think and feel. I'm just gonna do me now. So I feel
Yeah.
like this might be like a second wind now.
She's
Um,
dusted off all, shaken off those shackles, and she's just,
yeah.
I'm doing me.
I feel like we do move differently when we care less about how it's going to be received, what the potential
Yeah.
impact is. And I feel like at this point, maybe it's just for play now, like just for fun. Let's just see what we can do. There's
Yeah.
no
How far
norm.
can we push it?
Yeah, there's no norm to be aligned to. It's just whatever seems interesting to her. She may just go down that road and just see where it takes her. I don't know. It's freaking incredible. Can't wait to get my life on Saturday and relive the concert all over again. But apparently it's meant to be a lot more sort of behind the scenes stuff, a lot more stuff with the kids. And it's interesting that you said, I wonder what sort of drives her. I feel like that is actually covered in this as well. So I will feed back because I know you're not going.
Yeah, for sure. Even if I
So
could see it for free, I probably wouldn't.
really,
Yeah, man,
damn.
it's not my vibe. It's just
Oh
not my
yeah,
vibe. It's
even
not
for
my vibe.
free though.
I'm not hating on her or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's time out of my own diary. Like I have to really want and be interested in something to take
Mm.
time out and invest it in that. And if it's like not really something I'm interested in, why would I? I just
Even for free. Wow.
nah.
Okay.
Listen, it will probably be one of those things if it came on a dodgy disc and I happen to come across it during Christmas and New Year where, nobody knows what the hell's going on. And I'm
I've
just
had
sitting
nothing
on my
else to
sofa
do.
in my
If my leg
pajamas.
was broken,
Yeah,
and I couldn't
I'm
reach the
eating all
remote.
of the leftovers. I'm just going to do it. It will be on. And I might find it interesting, but I'm not going to choose to do it because she's just. And I'm not just saying it because it's Beyonce. Like, I don't even know if I would do it for any artist. There are some artists I don't know anything about, and because it's not some music I would ever listen to, I might be like, oh, there's a story behind there, and I'm
It's more of a
intrigued.
documentary. Yeah.
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 I'd definitely dip a toe in that. But yeah, I mean, I'm here for the fact that you love her so much, and it
So
is
much.
incredible how much like her whole career things have been changing. I mean, even when was it the other day? Oh, I sent you that link when I was listening to a radio station and they were playing a song and I was like, I
Oh
recognize
yeah.
this song being played somewhere else, and it was a Beyonce song. And I went back and I listened to that whole album, and
Okay.
there are bangers on there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, loved. Even going back to it, I was just like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
you know? But that's probably when my love stopped. Just because I was like, I'm not on the same journey as you're making, and I'm not feeling the vibes of these
Fair.
songs in this period of my life. So I'm going
Yeah.
to wish you well.
That's fair.
Do
I've
you
heard that.
do?
I've heard that quite a lot. I mean, one of my favorite albums of hers is Lemonade. Um, and I think that was like the first time someone who loves Beyonce as much as I do didn't feel an album. And I was just like shocked, like, what? But it's because of what you just said, like where she was in her life at the time, it just did not resonate at all. Whereas for me, I felt like my life was being sung. So but anyway, last
Oh
thing to talk
dear.
about, it's kind of like a little dilemma, actually.
I love a
Um,
dilemma.
all right, so my friend is mad at me because I told her daughter Santa isn't real and her daughter believed me. I don't know. Sorry, I don't have kids. So did I cross a boundary? If you ask me, why do you want to keep lying to your kid? Was she wrong?
I think so. And as someone who doesn't have children, like, why are you killing their joy?
Listen, exactly. What does that give you? That's out of order? I would be pissed as well. In fact, I have been pissed because this has happened. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, I managed to like turn it back around, and actually, secretly, I feel like they kind of know Santa isn't a thing. But as I've said before, the window of childhood is so small. Like they have the rest of their lives to be like miserable
Uh,
and pessimistic. Let them just have this little bit of magic that crops around once a year. Like, what
Once
is
a
it to you?
year. Come
What
on.
is it to you? You know, that was well
Rude.
out of order. And then to be like, why do you want to be lying to your kid? Like, who are you? As you said, my kid.
Yeah.
Out of order.
Yeah.
Well, I was livid. I was so irritated. I just felt what a grinchy thing to do, you
Yes.
know?
Just because you're heart is made of stone doesn't mean you have to turn the rest of us to stone too.
Exactly.
I don't like that at all. Like, it's definitely not your place at
Yeah.
all. And I find that's really interesting in terms of boundaries, because and I can see in terms of merging families with stepmoms and stepdads and stepbrothers and
Mm.
stepsisters and stuff, like how do you handle things like that? Is it still this is my child, so I'm the one who dictates? Or, anyway, another story for another time. But
I mean,
I
I feel like yes is the short answer to that.
there's a conversation that needs to be
Mm,
had. Like, you need to agree on certain
absolutely.
things. And as a friend or as a family member, I have no place to discourage a story that is being told. Like, unless you
Yeah.
tell me, oh, they don't believe anymore, then I'll be like, how long did it take you? Like, who's been eating all these mince pies? Me, that's who. Why do you think I'm so chubby now? I'd
Yeah.
make a joke out of it, but it's not my place to be saying
No.
anything like that.
I mean, even if you felt that way, take it to the parent, no? Like, not to the kid. That's just, for me, that's
Yeah,
out of order.
out of order
And now you don't get to see
completely.
them anymore because you're mean. And you're going to be getting coal.
Yeah, you are a big bag of it. You're full stocking.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, where's it coming from? Santa, bitch.
Absolutely.
I when I was kind of like looking around on the Tinternet, I came across a couple of Am I the Arseholes? Now they weren't like light-hearted things, which is why I haven't brought it to the table. But I'm going to bring one to the table today, just for I suppose, your view on it, right?
Okay.
So it's something that we've kind of highlighted a couple of times before in regards to hair.
Hmm.
So this Am I the Arsehole was about a mum who had separated from the dad of their, I think, 11-year-old
Hmm.
at this point. So, and they'd separated long, long ago. So the mum is mixed, and she's like, I think, white with Native American or Indian.
Hmm.
And so she was just, obviously that takes precedence because of the fact she's talking about hair. So she was like, I have very, very straight hair.
Hmm.
And her hair is blonde as well. So she's like, you know, and her, the ex-husband's hair is tough. Like,
Okay.
let's go with steel wool tough. And so the daughter has a mixture. When her hair is longer, it's easier to manage. It's not straight, but it's a lot easier to manage. But when
Hmm.
it's cut short, the mum has to full on be in there 2 hour long brushing
Yeah.
sessions to try and get it sorted. So she's just like, I would prefer her hair to be longer so that while she's still living under my roof and I'm the one who has to deal with it, like, I feel as though I have a little bit of option to say whether or not her hair gets cut short or not.
Mm.
The am I the asshole point comes in is because the daughter has requested that her hair is cut short, and the mum is saying no because of the fact that she will be responsible for doing it, right? But the dad and the grandma was like, her hair looks cute when it's short, so let her have her hair short. So how would you feel, all right, where your child is saying, Mum, I want my hair to be in this style, you knowing you're the one who's going to have to style it, but feeling like you don't have the time to do that?
Mm. I mean, see, when it comes to doing hair and stuff, I'm quite capable. So I don't think I think I'd be
Every
fine.
day,
I,
every
I
day.
the thing is, I'm not gonna straighten my kids' hair to make it easier for me. I'm not gonna do it because the damage that does to the health of the hair sometimes can be irreparable, and they may end up having to like shave it off and start again. Also, I just feel like it's important that if you have hair on your head, whatever the hair is like, you learn your hair. You need to learn like what's good for it, how to maintain it, um, and how to keep it healthy. We talk about this all the time. It is a nightmare to deal with sometimes, and sometimes you can't be bothered. And sometimes I think it would just be so much easier if I was bald. And um, even before we press record today, I was just like, I've straightened out my hair today and jokingly said, I'm thinking about perming it again because it's easier just to throw it back in one this way rather than having to deal with the fro. But the bottom line is the fro is what I have. That is my hair, and I deal with it. Um, this is techie for me because this is a young, this is a kid at the end of the day. And I feel like the messaging that is being sent if her hair is always straightened is that straight hair is what is best, and that is where the seeds of, am I going to be as strong as to say self-hate, but kind of that's where those
Yeah.
seeds come from, where you can't
Not
bear to
liking
see yourself.
yourself.
Yeah, where you can't bear to see yourself like in your natural state. It's so some terrible seeds that take a long time to weed out. So it's difficult because again, I feel like the experience of people that have mixed heritage or dual heritage is very different from mine. So for me, it's easy to say that. Like both of my parents are black. I have like 4C hair. It is what it is. Even like if you're going to compare our hair journeys, right, they're very very different. You have a completely different hair texture, coil pattern. What works for you isn't going to work for me, and vice versa. Um, and again, I've forgotten where I'm going with this point. But I feel like if you're the parent of a child that has a different hair type to you, I feel like as the parent, you do need to learn your child's hair. You do. You can't kind of force it into the box that yours falls in
You're comfortable
because
with.
it's not, yeah, because they're going to go out into the world and not have a clue what to do. Like, I feel like it's your duty to kind of learn as best as you can what their hair is like so you can pass those lessons on and then they can then go out in the world and do what they want to do. But no, I mean, hair journeys are arduous, but unless you're going to be bald, you got to do it. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up now, folks. Thank you once again for deciding to press play and joining us for another week. We hope you had a good time, learned something new, learned something about us, learned something about yourself. If you could do all of the things, what are all of the things? Oh, follow us everywhere. We're everywhere that you scroll. Can I just say that now? Can I just say do all of the things and like you just know what I mean? I love a shortcut. Do all of the things. Follow us on Insta, TikTok, Twitter, everywhere but LinkedIn. We are there as It's All Frolics. Send us your comments, ask us questions, engage. If there's anything you feel like should be in the media circus, let us have it. If there's a meme that you come across and think Mo and Amy would like that, send it across because we probably will. Ames, thank you for joining me today. Great company as always.
Of course.
Come back again next week. This is what you put while you're ahead.
Could
This
you
is what you
imagine just showing up and you're on your own? Just you.
Yeah, you don't want a solo cast from me, honestly. But yeah, thanks again, folks. Have yourselves a great week wherever you are in the week. And yeah, come back again for a funky good time. Anything else? I don't know.
Thank you, especially those who engage. So I want to give a shout out to Katie because she is sending me lots of comments directly. Loving them. It's nice to know how you're receiving it because we're like just getting on with it over here, chatting the nonsense. Not sure if it makes sense, so it's nice to hear that it does occasionally. And people get enraged by me not being able to answer questions, in the warm-ups. So this week will be no different.
I love that.
Shade.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, thanks so much, folks. Have yourselves a great week, and we will see you the next time you decide to press play. Peace.
Yeah, until next time. Thanks very much.
Bye. You know those like little kissy sounds when you just hear the audio? It sound like little birds just like chirping.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Bye, y'all.